the character that David Price plays in the later Star Wars movies. Did you hear about the guy?
Oh, we're back, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're starting with the cold open. We were talking about how in the chat Taylor was saying that somebody, she put an article out about how Jake Lloyd is doing better, and I made the quip that Jake Lloyd kind of looks like Michael with his new beard and hair, and then the disembodied voice of our chat reader Lauren, who is actually my delightful fiance, who's off camera, but she's cool. I promise.
Promise I'm hot.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Right swipe, super like. But anyway,
3 thumbs up.
She goes, yeah, did you hear about the story of childhood Anakin actor? Like, he's doing great. So we're off to a great start, and welcome to the show. This is On Program, your favorite Star Wars related show where we talk about all things related to Star Wars and definitely nothing else. We never stray from the path. We always stay on program. Today we're talking about Bad Batch, ostensibly. And we're already off to a great start because Taylor's holding back tears and life is great. This is amazing. Bad Batch was great. We missed 1 week because I was in Idaho or somewhere doing that which it is that I do, kind of like mysterious Barney Stinson vibes. It takes me around the world.
And by around the world, he means the Midwest and then the lower Midwest.
This is 100% improvement over our normal videos.
Yeah, 100%. This is what I
100% improvement.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. Oh my gosh. Okay, we were missing this. We were missing this, and now it's here. Bad Batch. It was great. So okay, so we're gonna talk about 3 episodes today. If we can get our poop in a group and figure this out. Lauren hasn't seen any of them, so that's great. Like, she hasn't seen a single one. So so we'll try to explain it so that she knows what happened. That'll be a good litmus test for us.
I also have hard opinions on things I've never watched, so get ready.
So we're gonna do a smash cut. How do we feel about Dune 2? Let's go around the room here. Quick reviews. No, the internet is not ready for your opinions on Dune 2. The internet does not know that you're a woman of color, and I don't want those opinions out. Your voice sounds way too white to be having your opinions about Zendaya. Okay. All right.
Y'all, if I could not cry for a minute, that would be great.
Oh man, if I wasn't too lazy to make TikToks, that would have been some good content. Too bad they banned it. That's over. If you're watching this years later, TikTok was where we used to waste our time. Okay. It was a Singaporean app from back in the day. Bad Batch. We were talking about last week. They had to find a way to track down Tantus. They were trying to get back to Tantus, and Crosshair said that he had a way to reactivate that, data pad that Omega had stolen when they escaped. And of course, it was a flashback to the outpost that he visited in season 2, where he had his where he finally came to the understanding that the Empire was no good, and of course, he betrayed the Empire when that lieutenant shot Mayday. Which was a very big moment. And so it was really neat getting to go back with the whole crew, and you saw some of the tension with Hunter and everything like that. I should at this point probably issue the obligatory spoiler warning. It's in the title. We do it every time. Every time we say we won't do it anymore. I should have done it. I'm sorry. That's on me. I spoiled half of the episode for you. I'm sorry about that. It was in the trailer. Okay, spoilers for the rest of the time. Here we go. Spoiler alert, Jake Lloyd looks like Michael now.
Is there any,
no one's watching,
is there
we're
anything
fine.
to spoil in that particular episode?
It's snowy on that planet that it was snowy before.
It not
remains
a spoiler.
Snowy. Trying to think other plot details. Oh, so they decided to make Snow Dune because that was basically Jurassic Park meets Dune meets Star Wars. So that was a lot of fun.
So
What do we
I
need to talk about in this episode? Let's start slinging around and getting some opinions. Michael, you have something to say. Why don't you tell me what you
yeah,
thought about the episode?
that wasn't what I was
We
going to
run a
say.
professional show here. We got a tight outfit.
As with this whole season thus far, my mentality has been this is good. It's not amazing, certainly not bad. It's good, and
Yeah, because you haven't
I'm
been
like,
here for a minute, right? Remind me. Were
no,
you
I watched all
missing?
that. I was here. I was here for the last one. We
Oh
talked
yeah, I just forgot. I'm
at
sorry.
length, and you guys made fun of it. Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
got beat up on. It's fine.
dun.
But yeah, the episodes are good. I haven't been blown away or like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what happens next. But I'm like, every episode is like, yeah, nice, solid. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Taylor, what'd you think of this one? Oh, okay, never mind. Michael, what else do you think?
What
I
happened? I'm confused.
I
Man
just
breathed
what
in like he
I
had something to
had to
say.
look it up because I thought maybe for a minute that this planet that Mayday had died on and that they went back to was the same planet we saw in the first episode of The Mandalorian. Because there was
Oh,
this like ice
the
worm
worm.
creature
Yeah.
thing that was like, popping out and stealing ships and stuff. And no, it turns out it's a different planet, which on one hand, I was like, that's sort of a missed opportunity because Star Wars seems to do that a lot and just sort of repeat the same plans over and over again. But on the other hand, kind of nice that they didn't. Look, we're allowed to have 3 whole snow planets in all of Star Wars, or
That's
4 if you
true.
count whatever that planet is the Senator Chuchi's from. It's kind of a snow planet. And Ilum. I guess there's a lot of
Pantora?
snow planets, honestly.
Well, it's
Yeah,
the moon
Pantora.
of Pantora. Yeah, where the Tolls live. Yeah.
It's moon the size of a planet.
Was
It's a
Ilum
Way to
snowy?
making
planetoid.
those.
Yeah,
Ilum was snowy. That is correct.
that's true.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
was Star Killer Base. I wonder if that's a coincidence. I don't know.
I think
Conspiracy
not.
theorists will wonder.
As someone who's not familiar with Star Wars, it sounds like you guys are just reading off a Mad Libs with all of the words that you're saying.
I mean, fair.
I mean, this may be how they chose to name their planets. It's certainly more creative than they name their people sometimes.
That's
I'm
true.
a gun die. Once again.
Yeah, again, Star Wars is a straight up copy of Dune. Sometimes people say so. At least we didn't have Luke Skywalker in Duncan, Idaho. I'm Dillon, Iowa. Come to save the day. All right, Taylor, what'd you think of this one? Give us the top level thoughts there.
Top level thoughts. I like Crosshair. He's probably like his arc is my favorite thus far in the show. So I really enjoyed this episode just because we get to see him interacting more with the group and trying to establish that working relationship and build trust again with the group. And also dealing with, right, the little bit of trauma that he had on this planet where he left, right? Because this was a pivotal moment. What happened on this planet was a pivotal moment in his decision to turn his back on the Empire. So I really enjoyed it. I like delving into that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very much on a like shameless copy of Zuko in season 3 of Avatar. It's very much the same sort of vibes of, I think a lot of people have pointed this out. I'm not like dropping hot takes, but like, he's kind of got an episode with everybody, right? Like this episode, he
You're
and
just
Hunter
saying that
got
because
to,
he has a big scar on his face.
and he's gorge, okay? But no, he got to spend time with Hunter, and then he had the episode with Omega prior to that, and then the next episode he gets to make amends with Hauser, as we'll discuss. Generally speaking, I really liked this episode. It was fun to see Crosshair kind of get his closure in a lot of ways and get to show the rest of the squad a little bit of what happened, at least on that planet, get to revisit it. Of course, you saw all the snow banks piling up to indicate the passage of time. That was fun. We liked that. The whole monster Jurassic Park Dune thing, it's fine. Again, it's a kid's show. We've seen it a million times. It is what it is. That wasn't that big of a deal, but generally speaking, this was an inoffensive episode, and I was happy to just kind of enjoy it for its thematic elements and then wait for next week. Michael, please.
I have a plot question. How do they not know where Tantus is? They had to plot a hyperspace jump away from Tantus to another planet. At very least, they jumped from one planet to an adjacent planet, or adjacent meaning like their ship is on fire and it's about to fall apart, so they went to the nearest possible planet, and they know where that planet was. So how do they not
We
know
have
where
to
Tantus
calculate a
is?
jump though, because hyperspace skipping is now a thing where we don't have to calculate crap.
I think that they calculated a jump, and also, like, if it's this important to figure out, they didn't know where Tantus is, couldn't they have just looked at where they just came from in their ship, or like paid attention in the time? I'm just saying, like, it seems like a weird thing that we have to figure out where Tantus is, and they literally escape from Tantus in a ship in a hyperspace, like. And again, at very least, they know the nearest planet to Tantus, so it shouldn't be that hard to narrow down. Or even then, a nearby planet. There can only be so many planets that are supporting life.
I'll
I
answer
don't know.
your
Well,
question with another question. What did Anakin Solo say to his two siblings when they were standing next to each other?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
Isn't that adjacent Solos?
that no,
That's for you, Taylor. Thank
no,
you.
Ed.
I'll be here all week.
I
Michael
like
said
Lawrence
adjacent,
better.
and in a brilliant moment of word association, I sat on that joke for 30 seconds.
Oh, you're gonna say brilliant. You're just gonna call it brilliant yourself if you do say.
Yeah, it's called self-deprecation, Michael. You bully yourself so your friends don't have to. But you'll...
You said don't have to. That doesn't mean we couldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean won't. Yeah, fair enough.
Also, to
Oh,
Michael's point,
God.
and going back to some of the discussion we were having earlier about, how many snowy planets are in Star Wars, it seems like there are. Did you just unprogram me?
No, you unprogrammed me, and it was valid, so I was just applauding you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
was like, this is related.
Watch
No,
it,
if you
son.
had a button, you would have unprogrammed me, and it would have been valid. So I was trying to,
When are we getting those buttons, by
Ed's
the way?
gatekeeping the button.
Oh, we need to give Lauren the buttons. That would be
That would be
great.
brilliant.
She's not gonna know when we're on or off program, though.
If we're having
That's
too
what
much
makes
fun,
it funny.
It's just like Zendaya comes up. Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
okay.
sorry, Taylor. Please elaborate your opinions.
No, I don't know. It's not an opinion. It's a passing thought. Yeah, we were talking about how many snowy planets are in Star Wars, so I would be like, they shouldn't be too far away. And then also like how many planets have similar biomes in the system and all of that type of thing. It does seem like there are ways they could narrow it down, but I don't know.
That's
It's a
true.
show. There are
Like,
plot holes. We look past them.
substantially narrow it down.
If only they had a Thrawn to take.
If only they had
7
some super
episodes to
genius
figure it
child,
out.
with them. I don't know,
Yeah.
We can gamble,
Okay.
but backwards math is not happening.
I'm not
Why
that
did the
disappointed that I
Empire
would
abandon the place, but then leave the computers functioning with like active decryption codes for super top secret bases data pads?
Yeah, that's a no-no.
I'm just saying,
you
like, I know
know-
it's a kid's show, but they really don't want you to think about this at all. I know.
United
one was
States
in charge of
service
the
members posted classified military information on War Thunder subreddits. So, I mean,
Listen,
I don't
They
know.
hire a lot of 18-year-olds. Get very excited.
It's true.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be
the
that hard.
T-17s are back in stock. I'm gonna tell you all about it. Maybe it's another drill. Okay, that was a good episode. We enjoyed it. It wasn't very long or meaty, but it was. Oh wow! But it was good. It was a good one. Let's move on to the next one. I'm glad we skipped
Delayed
that week
reaction.
because that would have been a really short episode, and Taylor definitely would have had to bust out the trivia on that one. My God, we killed her.
Yeah,
She's dead.
Not a fan of the
It's
short
done.
ones. Sure.
Ed!
What? I acknowledged it and I moved on. This is what professionalism looks like. This is the face of a trained pro.
This is not. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, Extraction was the second episode. What was the name of the first episode here? Anyone remember?
The return, infiltration, and then extraction.
Infiltration, and I knew it wasn't insertion. That would have been weird. Insertion, extraction. So these episodes were actually really cool. There was a lot that happened here. There was a lot of plot details. Taylor's dead. Oh gosh, Lauren, I swear we don't normally just do bad puns for the whole time, but we do now.
Well, I'll know it when I hear it.
All right. Infiltration. We get the triumphant return of Rex, and we get to see there's quite a bit that happens in this episode. It was really, really great. Both of these episodes together, it was a lot of fun. We go back to a lot of things come back. We get to see Teth from the Clone Wars movie, right? We saw that in the trailer. That was fun. Getting to go back there was pretty neat. And it's kind of cool that that's where Rex has set up his shop, right? Just kind of like, hey, I remember this mission I had this one time. I wonder if that place is still there. And sure enough, it is. It was wild to see that when they captured the sort of shadow operative, whatever, we don't really know who those clones are. We learn a little bit more about them in this episode. But when they capture that person after the run-in, we learn that Omega is still being tracked, and so that's the inciting incident that brings everybody back together, brings the Bad Batch crew to Teth to reunite with Rex. But I'm skipping over the intro of the episode, and that to me is unacceptable because the intro of the episode contained Senator Chuchi, which was really, really cool. She's we stan the Kiwi Queens, and it was really, really cool to get to see the return of Pantora. I'm banking heavy on the fact that Kiwi isn't offensive, because if it is, I am so sorry. But I was under the impression that it wasn't. If it is, please accept my heartfelt apologies. I will do better. I'm trying to be better.
I think the
Okay.
offensive thing is that you think it could be offensive.
I don't know. It sounds like it could be, in the wrong context. Like I've found myself accidentally in urgent need of growth before, and here we are.
You found yourself on the wrong side of history. Let's be honest.
The longer we do this show, the more true I think that is.
Woo! So it was actually very interesting. The start of this episode, you got to see the beginnings of the sort of unification of the former separatist elements and the Republic resistance elements, realizing that, of course, the Empire is the new problem. And, you get to see the early manifestations of what Andor references, right, in Rogue One, where he's like, he's from the separatist planet, and you see some of those factions beginning, to join forces, because you see the senator from, thank you, Andy. Also, it's lovely to see that you're watching with
Aw,
us.
hi, Andy.
We hope you're doing well. Oh, there's she's commenting on YouTube. We're professionals,
over.
guys. Like I said, this might be the face of a professional, but this show is not professional. We
Clearly.
we have left much on the table, not unlike the Dallas Cowboys in this free agency. Anyway, this is a Star Wars show, not a sports show, and I'm a professional.
On program yourself.
On program.
All right. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like my girlfriend's hair. I'm being all silly. Okay.
I mean,
was I
we also
saying?
don't have Andy here to hold us down, so
Andy
We're
really
missing our
is the
anchor.
glue that holds this house together. There's no doubt about that. We know that now. We should have never doubted. We thought it was Eric.
Did you doubt?
Turns out
Oh, dear.
maybe it was Eric. Maybe it was
When
Eric
was it
and
Eric?
Andy. In the first 2 weeks of the show.
Checking.
Put an
Man,
in
can you
memoriam
imagine
here.
how pissed he'd be if he watched this show? I love you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being my friend. I hope that's still a thing. Okay, where were we? I was talking about Raxus and some serious separatist stuff. It was really cool to see the origin of those two elements coming together. I liked that. I like to see Senator Chuchi, who is very much on the run now and really not in the Empire's good graces from what I understand. Definitely still doing her best to start fomenting this rebellion, and that was really cool. Generally speaking, we'll get into more later. What did you guys think of these 2 episodes, and then anything that jumped out at you that you want to discuss? I'll start with you, Taylor. Let's keep it fresh.
Oh, don't do that. Start with
Oh, are
Michael.
you Andy
Why do you
today?
say
Andy's
that's
not here,
fresh?
so
What are
you
you
gotta
trying
do
to
that?
say about my input? What?
Because I always go to you because I know you've got something. I like to gamble.
My opinions are tired and old, says Ed.
No, not your
I'm
opinions.
responding to the YouTube chat, guys. Not thinking.
Oh, why don't I have that window up? What is happening?
I don't know. You have what, 7 monitors in front of you?
Just 3. Gosh.
Boom, roasted.
Oh,
Who hurt you? I don't think I did. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the solidarity of distracted queens. Okay, Michael, go ahead and tell us what you thought. Let's try to reel this show back in for our viewer.
It's so mean. There's 4 whole viewers right now. What are you talking about? And clearly they know what the show is. If they just tuned in, they know exactly what we're talking about. What are we talking
We
about?
have a 1-to-1 panelist to viewer ratio. And the day that we move beyond that, we've gotten too big. We've sold out. We're going to keep growing it. So by the time we get an audience, it's going to be a 10,000 person Zoom call.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. Are you asking about the opening of that episode or the whole episode?
The answer to that question would be whatever you have a more substantive answer to.
weren't you
but
asking
Don't
about both
waste his
episodes
time.
together?
I just kind of want you to talk because I'm digging myself into weird little holes here. And so if you want to talk about the Separatists, you want to talk about Raxus, you want to talk about Crosshair, Echo, Tick, Rika, whatever you want, go for it.
Or Amiga.
Or Mika. Thank you.
Taylor, you're the fresh opinion. Go for it.
I'm the fresh opinion. Okay.
Oh, this show sucks.
You officially killed it.
I liked the episode. Let's start there.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start.
I mean, nobody asked me, but that's fine.
Yeah. No, you know
Why
what?
don't
That
we go
sounds
to
fun.
Lauren?
Lauren, based off of vibes, what do you think about this episode? Tell me what you think, disembodied voice of God.
Based off of vibes, I would say the Riz is not there, solid episode, but I'm looking for something, just something more. It feels like the dichotomy between the characters and the inner turmoil that they're facing just is not believable. Like, where are the writers? Back to you.
You just left out Mary Sue somewhere in there, and you nailed half the Star Wars discourse on any given topic. I like that. Okay, let's reel it in. Let's focus up. We're professionals. We like Star Wars, and we get to talk about it. Okay, we don't have to do this. We get to do this, and we're lucky to do this. So let's talk about it. Michael, what do you think about this episode?
I don't know. I have the similar opinions as I did on the other, all 3 of them, which is again that they're good, they're fine. I wasn't blown away.
I like anything more for you. Interesting. Okay.
I think the last one was better. I appreciated the last one, but I have questions. Some of the stuff with Wolf, and the other stuff didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I liked it. It was fine. I liked this sort of clones providing sort of semi undercover, not totally not obvious we're clones, bodyguard kind of detail. The sniping thing was cool. What a mix. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
I have thoughts now.
go for it, Taylor.
Okay, cool. So like I said, I like the episodes. I also liked the second one better. I thought in the first episode having the dude that was mad at Crosshair was kind of cliche. I figured that was coming. And then also the fact that they scanned him and nothing showed up. Oh no, there's a new type of scanner, or there's a new type of technology that wouldn't show up on your scanner. Also cliche, but again, it's a kid's show. I think what I really liked, I liked seeing, again, Crosshair. I liked seeing him get better. Like, I feel like we see him with his sniping, like, continuing to improve. But I loved at the end because we saw Wolf. That's his name, right? It's Wolf. I'm not getting them mixed up. Okay, good. Thank you. We saw Wolf, which I was very excited about because Rebels. I had a question too, though, because I don't understand how Wolf just let them walk away and all the troopers around him were fine with it, because I'm thinking back to the end of Clone Wars season 7 when Rex is going to help Ahsoka and Jesse and all the other clones immediately do this 180 and they're like, nope, sorry, wrong answer. You're a traitor too. We're going to kill you. Meanwhile, these other clones are just chilling. Wolf says, put your guns down. They do. Everybody walks away.
Do
So
We
you
what's up
talked
with
about
think?
that?
this too.
Do you think that it was that was because of Order 66? Was just an overriding, sort of biological programming in each and every clone, as opposed to, where you would normally follow the standard chain of command, and those clones respect Wolf, and those are other clones. I mean, I could see it being a little unbelievable, but I also, I definitely could make that distinction between Order 66 and just kind of standard fare
I
clone on
could, but
clone
also
violence.
I feel like this whole show has been showing us clones that just blindly obey orders. Like, even if it's no longer Order 66, like, good soldiers follow orders has been repeated over and over and over. So the fact that all of a sudden there are, right, because those orders come from someone whom I'm assuming is higher up in the command chain than Wolf. So if Wolf decides to
Hmm.
disregard, I don't know how that fits in. Could you argue that Wolf is the commanding officer on the scene, so his orders go? Sure. I would think they're coming from above him, so I don't know if that holds merit. Again, does it really matter? Maybe not. But I feel like they've spent a lot of time showing that the clones just are following the orders and not necessarily taking the time to think through them and or listen to people who disagree.
No, that's totally fair. I think in a lot of ways we'll have to just kind of see what happens next week, because I'm under the impression that Wolf is going to get his comeuppance much in the same way that, like, what Cody saw before made him go AWOL, right? Like, I think this is the inciting incident that's going to make Wolf either, maybe, hopefully not, but maybe get experimented on at Tantus, or or run away, or God knows. Because I mean, remember in Rebels, he wasn't all the way bought in, right? Like, he kind of
Hmm.
let the Empire know about Kanan and Ezra and all that stuff too. So definitely interested to see how it all shakes out, because you're right, it is a little odd, and definitely interesting.
Yeah,
Is there anything else on this one? Okay, yeah, go ahead, because I was gonna shift, but I want to see what
I
you
was
have
gonna
to say
say
about
I had the same thought as you, Ed. Is I felt like the clones seemed to use their judgment and training and everything fairly normally, except where Jedi are involved. And if Jedi are involved, the inhibitor chip kind of takes over, and they stop being rational. And they start being basically slaves to that particular order. But in the case of Ahsoka, they reasoned it was still a little bit of. I think that's why even Rex is able to sort of hold back, because she wasn't exactly a Jedi. There was some questioning, probably, that kind of glitched the programming, but everybody else just kind of went with it. But when there's no
it.
Jedi involved, it's just back to what are your orders. The only thing that's a little sad is it seems like the Clone Wars was really pushing every single clone as a personality and has a free will, And this show really has seemed to just kind of relegate
Mhm.
character or willpower to just the few main characters, the named clones. All the rest of the clones are
Yeah.
just mindless drones at this point, especially the
Well,
commandos, which is always hard to see. But
Mhm.
but I think
it's
it's
different when we've talked
indicative.
about the X people, the people that have been experimented on. But like all the rest of the clones, at a certain point, we've seen plenty that clearly have some sort of morality and see bad things that the Empire are doing. And I'm like, at one point, has Wolf not seen this? Where has Wolf been this whole
Yeah,
time that he's not seen?
he acts very oblivious. He's still like, yeah, the Empire's got our back, and I'm like, even in the Clone Wars, clones were starting to
He's like,
question
what
that.
do you
So
mean
how have
we're
you made it
expendable?
this far
You
and you're
always what? Wait a
denying
minute.
this?
I am perennially surprised at the degree to which you are surprised that people are able to squash and ignore events around them due to their own cognitive dissonance to maintain the status quo. Like they're heavily motivated by way of, a threat, right? Overt threat of violence. A lot of times, seeing a bunch of clones defecting, going AWOL, the desire to be a good soldier and follow orders. And that when the Empire turned its switch, the propaganda and the sort of authoritarianism went through the roof. um this has come up in a couple other instances. Particularly, I remember like Lost Stars in the book club, which again, it's still a thing. We're coming back. But it's that idea of that sliding scale, frog in the pot syndrome, of like, you can really, the banality of evil. You can go through things and not really realize until you're shocked awake, right? Because it's so gradual, the change. And that's what I think is happening here. Because if it's an insurgent, if they're rebels, then you know how to handle that. That's a nail and you're a hammer. But then when you see that the thing you're supposed to kill is your buddy, then you're like, oh wait, whoa, 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 what's going on? Maybe I am the bad guy here, right? And that's the first thing to kind of get you out of your reverie there. And again, I understand that we all want to just shake Wolf and just be like, dude, how are you this dumb? Like, you're
But
and
see,
again,
that's the thing, is it's not just his semi ignorance to the Empire and their wrongdoing, because he clearly sees that. It's sort of this, like, they presented him as this almost like innocent backwards, like he didn't even realize the Clone Wars ended and he's still acting like this is the same sort of situation. It was
no,
it
I
was
don't
just
think
sort of
he
this
realized that
weird,
he was
like,
fighting
would transform
clones.
him back. Yeah, I know, but as soon as he did, then it was strange. And it's I mean, again, I think the parallels between what Crosshair was saying and him, and like, hey, yeah, I was there at one point, and I thought I was loyal too. We sort of had that conversation, but at the same time, like, what did he just, with all of his loyalty, right? With all of his, well, this is all I know, and we're just soldiers, and good soldiers follow orders. Then all of a sudden, he just like throws it out the window, but then doesn't seem to really acknowledge the consequences of what's going to happen. And like you said, we'll find out. But like,
Mhm.
even as he
Again,
is
I
with the threat and everything, you got to assume he's like, well, this is an executable offense of what I just did.
Yeah, but again, I stand by, like, you see this all the time. There are people that will blatantly ignore any kind of rhetoric, rationalization, logic, or any of it when someone's explaining
It's
every bit of it to you.
it's not
But
about,
the minute it's personal to them, then suddenly it all clicks, right? Like, it's
yeah,
the
but
it's
it's not.
the I have a gay son phenomenon where, like, suddenly it all makes sense, right? It like, Wolf in this case is like, that's Rex. I don't care. I'm not gonna kill Rex. Like that. This is not okay. That
I
that's
don't I
that's
don't I
my
don't
read on it.
disagree that it was a reasonable action for him to take, even as somebody who is stuck with it. I just think the writing didn't lend itself very well to that situation. Like, it just kind of seemed very papery. The whole thing was just kind of like, oh, and then he let them. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
That is
He's
fair.
presented
Lauren
himself
did
as this
say that
character.
from the
Oh,
beginning.
this.
So yeah.
uh,
No, I get what you're saying, and there's always, like, the desire for things to maybe be better. So I see you on that. I mean, obviously, I think we have kind of illustrated where we're at on this, so we can move on. But one of the dynamics that I really enjoyed in this one was seeing Hauser again. I really loved him in the Ryloth arc, and as one of those clones, one of the earlier ones that we didn't know this guy. He came out of nowhere, and like to stand up earlier on, that was really really cool. And so to get him coming back, and then also because Crosshair was there for that episode, and he was the loyalist, it was really really great to get to see Crosshair winning the trust of Hauser, and just kind of Hauser being an allegory for, or an analog for, all the regs, right? That was really really great. Michael, you just put something in the chat. Why don't you say it out loud, because it's solid.
I was just saying I
You could
really
say it even
appreciated
if it
how.
wasn't. I'm not gatekeeping what you're
Oh,
saying.
it's
but
fine.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's just I appreciated that we actually saw Crosshair not even like sarcastically or begrudgingly caring for Omega here, but we like saw him legitimately looking out for her and trying, taking one for the team and being a good person in general. But it was funny because he sort of tried to be this kind of father figure thing, and then wasn't it this episode where Omega's like, "Dude, I'm older than you." Like, come on, that was kind of funny. Yeah.
It was very much reminiscent of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars movie, right? Well, if you're a captain and I'm a general, then that means I outrank you. It kind of reminded me of that. I'm trying to think of what else we need to discuss from this one, because there was definitely a lot that happened here. Go ahead.
I also liked how 0% of the Bad Batchers were surprised that Omega was still being hunted. They're like, "We have something really important to show you. Omega's being hunted." They're like, "Yeah, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
that dude, that's
duh."
kind of like her whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
everyone.
they're like, "No, this is real. She's being hunted." They're like, "Yeah, we know. Thanks for bringing us here. Like, all this way. You
All the
couldn't have
way out
phoned that
here.
one in over the phone. Like, hey, you know that person? Yeah, she's being hunted. Like, oh, thanks. Good to know."
Oh, Michael,
Oh,
say the
by the way,
line.
we have this guy in the back who we captured. Oh, really? Maybe we should talk about that.
Oh yeah, definitely buried the lead on that one for
Yeah.
sure. What line? What are you talking about?
Michael's line that
what's
he always says that fits in this situation.
I actually disagree with Ed on this one. I don't know what you're talking about, Taylor. I missed the setup. Michael, what's your line?
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Not my line.
That
That's
is
not
your
his
line. You say it all the time, whether not on the show, in real life. Whether it applies or not.
So we're doing inside jokes now? What? That's my job.
But it was a trap, and it's Star Wars related.
Was it a trap?
That's fair.
Which part was a trap?
I mean, I thought it was a trap.
What,
the
you think that
springy part.
You think because the assassin was intentionally captured and let himself get captured so that they could sacrifice him so that they could find the base? I mean, that's
Well,
some
and then
comic
Omega came, and
Come
then, I'm
again.
just saying.
How could he possibly have anticipated that they would bring Omega to him once he was captured, or vice versa?
I didn't say it was specifically a trap for her, but it was a trap, and it worked better than they thought. I think
The assassin, the one for the diner.
it's not his fault.
Hey, listen, maybe you're right. Listen, you're right that they did not know about the tracker. They didn't know about that, and that's probably why this guy stayed alive instead of finding some other way to, find a.
Well, so we did learn that the not clones are actually clones. They're just reconditioned clones, which isn't exactly a novel concept since they're all conditioned mentally. But it's really dark that
they
they're
got some extra juice for
they're
sure.
reconditioned clones, and that
I don't know.
apparently
They keep messing with their
Crosshair
brains. I'm
flunked
kind
out
of
the program or something.
the emotional
Resisted it.
impact after they've done it so often has kind of worn off.
Yeah,
agreed.
You almost wonder, how much you can propagandize these people before eventually it starts to be like a tape, where like the tape degrades after you keep copying so much stuff on it. Like, I mean,
I thought
can't
Taylor
be
was
good
talking
for
about
mental stability.
Us and how we eventually have to stop feeling bad for the same tragedy over and over again of they're being treated like less than people. It's bad.
I mean, it's a little bit of
we should
both.
stop feeling bad about that.
It's a little bit of both. If I'm being honest, like they use the same thing over and over, and like it tugs on your heartstrings, and then it's a little less and a little less and a little less. I don't know. Like, do I still think it's terrible? Yes. But am I emotionally invested anymore? No. Am I surprised? Also, no. I'm
Well, I
like,
That's
huh.
kind
think
of exactly
they're
what I was
they're
saying,
meant
but
to
Ed didn't get mad at
be.
you, so.
Does it get less and less terrible, and then we start to root for it? You know.
Mind control.
Do we
Yeah.
Okay,
do we just
to
like
Lauren's point, to
embrace the
Lauren's
sweet
point, there is the
release
theory,
of
right?
okay.
The theory, right? The theory. I
Mhm.
didn't tell Taylor. Ed knows the theory because apparently I stole it from a New Rockstar's thumbnail.
It's not theft if it's acknowledged, brother. That's legal.
If I take something from somebody and acknowledge that I did so, I
I
still
owe
stole
you
it.
one Snickers bar.
That's
Walmart.
just an honorable thief.
Okay, so Taylor, the theory is this other assassin clone X guy who seems rather unkillable,
Correct.
which was
That's the
definitely a
point that
joke that
makes it
we
unique
had, and
because
also seems to be comparable to Crosshair in hand-to-hand combat and other things, may actually be Tech, who did go through the program and got reconditioned.
He doesn't
And
look
so
like
now
Tech.
he's an assassin. Well, he's in different armor. They take the goggles away, and he looks
His
like
face
everybody else.
doesn't
It's
look like
crazy.
Tech.
Yeah, he probably
no,
looks
he
like all
never
the
took
rest
his
of them.
helmet off.
The other one who came and shot him in the chest. The other one who was
Oh,
chasing them, who like magically survived
No, there are two of them.
every yes, that guy, the unkillable
huh.
assassin guy. And so again, to your point, or maybe to Lauren's, the joke was maybe we're rooting for this because that would be sort of interesting, but at the same time, it is also like, oh
Hmm.
no, the horror, another clone was captured and turned into a bad guy and used against them. This has never happened before in the history of Star Wars, ever.
If it ain't broke, don't
I
fix it.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I'm still trying to figure out how Asajj plays into all this at the end. Like, where is
True.
she coming in?
As long as we're biting bits from New Rockstars, they were talking about Quinlan, right? How
Yeah.
like Quinlan Voss would be the perfect rogue Jedi to lead a bunch of rogue clones,
To
and
their death.
maybe he's the one who brought her back somehow through the power of love and true friendship. Who knows?
That sounds like
Somehow,
Disney.
Ventress returns.
Somehow.
Somehow. Maybe it's some Sith dark magic. The man did dabble. Spoilers.
Okay. So what else do we need to discuss from these? Because there was some neat stuff. I talked about Hauser. God bless that man. His beautiful haircut. Love him. True king. We talked about the theory. That was important. I think that theory is real. As soon as they said that, I was like, yeah, that's probably the best way they could bring Tech back. I don't
But
really
you know
want
how
It
they
Tech to come
break
tracks.
back,
him?
but that's a
You know how
good
they
way to
fix
bring him
him? They break the
back.
conditioning. It's Wanda Sykes' character and their love story. And she finally convinces him to come back to the light because, she there's a thing
Dies.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Disney.
And then the whole island village gets destroyed Camino style, and then they have to go and really take out Tantus, and they all die in the process, except for Omega, who has to like escape with Rex.
Do it.
This is the whole story. This is the story.
That was for me, and I appreciate you.
She didn't do it.
Armiga.
Thank you.
I literally, Ed, you're right. Like, she didn't say anything at all for the first half of one of those episodes, and as soon as she opened her mouth, I think Hannah and I both were like, "Oh no!" Just
I would like the nation of New Zealand to know I may have not known whether or not your moniker was a slur, and for that I apologize. But this man genuinely hates you and the way you sound. So, we're both trying, pick your poison. Andy has said some very interesting things in the chat. So I just want to call that out. She just said she's popping back in here. Actually, you know what? This is a great thing. Lauren, can you have that pulled up? No, you don't. Okay, here we go. All right, go ahead, read it. Do your best Andy voice.
Oh, that's not fair. I'm bad at impressions. I can't mimic anybody.
You sound just like her with your normal voice. So do your normal voice.
Perfect. Andy is
that
saying,
sexism?
how about Hunter's character doesn't have enough character?
That's fair. What'd she say after that?
Yeah.
She said,
Agreed.
"How's
Wait,
he
wait, wait.
hot?"
That was a pretty good
Correctly.
Andy impression, actually.
Pretty
That
good.
I
actually.
had the same comment though. What happened to Hunter's magic electromagnetic field tracking abilities? Like he's supposed to have like straight up superpowers, and they have very slowly been just forgetting that. To the point where the last several episodes there have actually been circumstances where, hey, that'd be really handy if you happen to like know exactly where their ship was, or that the ship was coming, or that there's a massive data center on the other side of the planet, which I believe is how this was introduced. Was, oh yeah, I can sense that on the other side of the planet that there's this
Is
giant
that
data
real?
center
Was
going
that
on.
was
Yeah,
that a
that was
thing
his
that happened?
powers.
I know
Yeah, that's
he
how they
was like a
find.
really good tracker and stuff like that, but like he was able to find stuff from the other side of the planet.
Yeah, he was
Because
able to
if
sense
Disney wants us
signals.
to forget, I have forgotten. So props to Disney for pulling the wool over this sheep's eyes. You're probably right. I
They straight
believe
up
it. It
say
wouldn't be
it.
the first time. Yeah, no, I believe you.
Yeah, it has
That's
the
wild. They
ability.
got me.
Tech explains Hunter has the ability to sense electromagnetic frequencies. He's
Mhm.
never wrong.
But like from the other
Okay.
side of the planet, like
Yeah,
in
that was how they were
Singapore,
introduced. Remember?
just booted up an Android.
Also, I want to know, is Andy saying his character doesn't have enough character, like character traits, personality, or is she saying he doesn't have enough character, like moral fiber?
I read it
Because,
as he's not interesting and he's two-dimensional and
well,
bland.
that's fair.
That's
He's been
I
pretty
agree.
much one note recently, which is grumpy. That's
yeah,
been the one note.
right.
On
And
his
maybe
Yeah.
record.
resigned. I was just curious if she
I'm
had,
that,
if there were some
not
deeper thoughts
you.
behind that. Andy, if you're here, put something in the chat.
Yeah, I think what she means by that is Hauser hot and endorsed.
That much I got.
Yeah.
Can you make his picture the thumbnail?
Hauser?
Yeah.
Have you Googled
Little
Google
fire
Hauser clone
emojis.
while you're over there so you can kind of, vibe with us here.
How do you spell that?
HOWZER. It's in the chat.
Okay. Well,
Andy
I didn't
said
ask
not
for this ask.
interesting.
Not
Well, I
interesting.
assume
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
one note. Grumpy.
It's the haircut. I mean, he's just I don't know. Plus he's a good dude, which
Okay, I
always
gotta
helps.
Google this
No,
dude
good
now.
dude makes it worse.
It makes it worse. Is that why we've been on the rocks lately?
Yes, be mean to me.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, here. Never
mean,
been a
I can
better
see
time
it, I
for
guess.
this. Yeah, Hauser's Bay. Okay. We've spent too much time on Hauser. All right. What else
Andy
we got?
disagrees.
Anything else of interesting? Anything else interesting that we want to discuss from this one? I don't know that there's too much left here. I'm excited to move on to next week and see where we go next.
Mhm.
I'm concerned. One thing we didn't mention was that in this? I'm trying to remember. Pabu. Did we go to Pabu at the start of the winter episode, or was that a different one?
Oh no, they were there. That's when isn't
Oh,
that
weren't they
where
chilling on the island and talking?
that's where Echo
Yeah,
shows up
that's
and
Pabu.
says,
Yeah,
"Oh, I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
hack
yeah,
this now. We
yeah.
need to go." That was the third episode, or the
So
yeah.
that was cool. Yeah, we got to see that a little bit. That's where the clones went, the young clones from that episode. Definitely curious to see how that all pans out. Probably not going to end tragically. It never does on this show. Very interested to see. Okay, final thoughts. Anything else you guys are excited for, or we can end this with some fun little trivia.
I'm excited to
Lauren,
see
you
what
should-
Ed comes up for the thumbnail.
You should get the
I am
trivia
not.
book. It should be down there. I'll tell you. Spoiler alert, right? Because we're in the spoiler section. The thumbnail is going to be the thumbnail that it was last week, and the week before that, and the week before that. But except this time, it's going to have the current episode that we're talking about instead of the episode we were talking about at that time. So, only the
Ooh.
best here at the On Program
Ah.
podcast. Yeah, there's nothing better. That is not. There's a big one. There's a big book that says "Obsessed with Star Wars Trivia." If it's not
Oh, you
there,
have yours
Taylor
too.
has it. I got so many copies of that stupid book. Maybe the bottom
It's
shelf.
not
If it's not there, again, not an issue. This is a live show. We are professionals. We're like GMC,
Speak for
professional grade.
yourself.
You had me at
We're like
Allison
Boeing.
10 speed transmission.
Hey, I understood that reference. Way to go, Taylor.
I don't
I-
see the
Hey,
trivia
you
book.
liked it? Okay.
I fly on those planes entirely too much. And every time I get in, I'm like, you know what? Here we go.
This is the end.
Mm-hmm. When I'm flailing and falling down, I just know that at least before I went and crossed the Rainbow Bridge, we were able to maximize shareholder value, and that makes me happy. That fills my heart with great joy. Okay. Lauren doesn't have the book, so why don't we
Don't say
end?
Lauren doesn't have the book. Like,
Lauren
I
doesn't have the book.
burned
It
or
was your one
something.
job, okay?
This was a task given to me 30 seconds ago.
You wanted me to be meaner to you, so this is what you get. It's okay, Taylor. Why
Young
don't you
Ryan.
pull the trivia book out, and we'll end with 3 questions, and then we'll
Okay,
get
well,
the
they're gonna have to be
heck
a
out of
fast
here.
3 questions. Who used an EE-3 blaster rifle? Options are
Michael, do
Boba
you know
Fett,
this? Oh,
Forlom, Zuckuss,
Jake
and
Lloyd.
Bosk.
Michael, do you know this one?
I mean, you said as soon as she said Boba Fett, so my guess is Boba Fett, but I don't know.
I
Every
tricked
single
you.
one of them
It's
does use
Zuckuss.
every single one of them does use a different blaster, though. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like, but no, Forlom uses the long format stormtrooper rifles, whatever those are called. They're not
DC-17.
E11s. Are they still DC-17s? The
I
stormtrooper
thought it
ones.
was the DC-17.
Are they DC-17C or something like that?
Yeah, I think there's some delineation to
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
if
Well,
I'm not
anyway, it's
mistaken.
Boba Fett.
I said that very confidently, so I sure hope I'm right on that, but I could very well not be.
It is Boba Fett.
Yeah, you know.
Oh
Okay,
no, the
cool.
DC-17C is a blaster pistol, or a DC-17 is a blaster pistol.
And Han
So it's
uses
probably the
the 44.
DC-17A then. DL-44, yeah.
Okay.
Still a blaster pistol.
Okay, we are flipping to
Ooh.
question
These are the
459
clone
while
individual
Michael
pistols.
looks things up.
Oh. All right, I'm looking this
Okay.
up while Taylor finds the question.
Question 450. Oh, well, this one isn't that hard. Who replaced Captain Panaka as Senator Amidala's head of security? You want the multiple choice options?
No, Michael can get this without multiple choice.
Oh shoot! But as soon as you said Panaka, now I lost the guy's name because he became a Moff.
Okay, I found the thing. It was DLT-19.
Yeah,
So
definitely. That's definitely what that was.
I have failed you. I'm sorry. Okay, Michael,
it's
you
not
got this one?
Harsh Panaka. No, wait, Panaka's the one who becomes a Moff.
I was going to say
Panaka's-
Panaka's the one who becomes the Moff.
Panaka's the Moff, yeah.
I don't. I've totally blanked on his name. I'm picturing his face, but I forgot his name.
Episodes 2 and 3.
I know the
Typho.
episodes. Yeah, Captain Typho. There it is.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. I mean, I'll put it in just
cousin
because
of
I need
course,
to.
Panaka. They
Which
buddies.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yay, we got it right.
We're awesome. We're nailing this, guys.
We're so
We're so
smart.
good at this.
Let's see if this is a harder one. Okay, 608, last question. Aha. Oh. Okay. Attack of the Clones era. What type of creature are basilisks? You have, oh Lord, why do I have to pronounce this?
I can answer without the multiple choice.
Michael,
So
go
can
for
Ed
it.
probably.
What's a basilisk?
Dex is a basilisk. Basilisk is Commander Krell is or I guess General Krell is a basilisk. They're the 4-armed creatures. Also, the guy from Twilight Company, whose name now escapes me as well, is also a basilisk.
Okay,
4-armed
I'm very glad you said that, but that's not one of the options.
All
Would
right,
you like to
they're
hear the options?
whatever. They're aliens.
I mean,
Go
we're
for it.
right though, but yeah, go ahead. Options.
I
Go
mean,
ahead,
you
book.
are right. Okay, your multiple choice options are
Wrong, and right.
I don't know how you pronounce this word. Mammalian?
Mammalian. They're not
Yeah, that one.
mammalian.
Mammalian,
Unlikely.
avian, reptilian, or amphibious.
They're reptilian.
Is it either
Although
A,
that
what
feels
Ed
like
said, B, what Michael said, C, what Ed and Michael said, or D, all of the above?
I mean, in order to determine whether they're mammalian or reptilian, wouldn't we have to know how they procreate? And I'm fairly certain we're not given those. That particular.
some time at Dexter's Diner.
Somebody knows because it's in the book.
It's definitely not information they got into in the movies, thankfully.
Well, a true fan would have researched it.
Yeah,
By
well, I
any
mean, I didn't
means
have
necessary.
to, but just get some serious.
Okay, so what's y'all's answer?
It's reptilian. They're like big snake boys.
See, that's what I said, but that's wrong.
Is it saying they're
Were they?
avian?
Yes,
They're
it
mammalian?
does.
I guess he has some weird, like, feathery hair things on his face, but
So-
that's just false. He has no feathers.
I gotta go look this up now.
By what definition is something avian? Does he lay eggs?
Well,
And then
hang
how
on.
is that
Isn't
different
that a
from-
mammal?
What's the
Okay,
what's the
okay,
delineation between
hey.
reptilian and avian?
Shh. Thank you. Okay, if you want to know what Google /
I don't know if I really
Wikipedia
do.
says.
It's still wrong.
Basilisks are a race of four-armed humanoids from the icy planet of Ojum, though female basilisks can have up to 8 arms. Basilisks evolved from large flightless avians, though they are often mistaken for a reptilian species.
By dumb idiots like Ed and Michael.
To be fair, I thought it was
Yeah.
reptilian as
So,
well.
but question. So they evolved from birds, but don't all lizards evolve from birds? Isn't that how it goes? Isn't that the thing?
I don't know. I was
don't
under the
think so.
impression that the Force made everything in individual kinds.
That's true.
In,
I'm just
you know.
saying.
Taylor says, "Catch a bubble." Got it.
I am looking this up. Okay, they tend to have a bone crest surrounded by short feathers, so there are feathers. That
Bone
makes
crest.
no sense. If anyone wants to know, Wikipedia, the list of Star Wars species A through E is where I am reading about basilisks and where they are apparently identified as avian.
Fan-made. It's fan-made. It doesn't count. Even official Star Wars content says that
It's got
Maul
sources.
Maul's species is Dathomirian. That's just wrong.
Maul's a Zabrak.
StarWars.com. Agreed,
Yeah, a
but
Dathomirian
tell
Zabrak.
that to StarWars.com.
Yeah, he's a
Well,
Dathomirian
I can't control
Zabrak.
StarWars.com.
It's not a species.
Oh,
it's just
Bills,
a
Bills.
nationality, really.
The
My
source
dog's
of
trying to
this
knock
is
over
the
my
Essential
lights.
Guide to Alien Species. Interesting. Okay, well now I'm going to Google what's avian. Well, I mean, I have a general idea, but
Well, I mean, there is
relating to
something to be
birds
said
is
about
helpful.
the like hollow bones that birds have, probably, but I never got the impression that basilisks were particularly lightweight.
Doesn't look
Hong
like it.
Krell's bones are hollow, just like his soul.
True, true that.
Monster. There's so many
gosh.
memes about that. How, like, you know, Anakin was redeemable, Kylo Ren redeemable, Hong Krell he just like want to slowly flay and destroy. Like, he's the most hated evil character. Oh my gosh.
He was really ahead of his time. He would have done well in the Empire.
Yeah. Can you imagine that dude as an Inquisitor? It would have basically been the Eighth Sister. But
That would have been
anyway.
horrifying.
Yeah. Would have been a great video game level, though. Take notes.
Oh,
EA.
I mean, let's say, like, how many times can we holographically bring back some long dead Jedi to fight? Never done that before.
As long as it makes
I would
money.
always say it's X+1. That's the Disney math. All right, boys and girls, this has been a heck of a good time. Hoot and a half. Thank you for joining us. We definitely had an outline to this show, and I wanted to try scripted content, and I'm glad you guys were here to do it with me. I'm glad we got to try diving into having a strict, rigid outline, exploring these things with you guys. It was great. Taylor B, they can find you at the Totally Real Instagram account, Taylor Made Takes. Definitely not a placeholder for something that will come later. Michael B at Mike on Program, which again, totally real. Mine actually is fake.
Hey,
You
mine's
will
real.
not find.
Mine's real.
Oh, is it?
I have
Hey.
almost probably exactly 2 posts, but it's real.
1 out of 3.
Nice. Good deal. Well, mine's fake, so there's no chance that if you look up Real Eddie G, you'll find a private Instagram profile that has me, and you definitely wouldn't be able to figure out what the voiceless Lauren looks like. You wouldn't be able to figure out any of that. So why even look it up? That would be crazy. That makes you weird.
Imagine a goddess. That's me.
I mean, I'm not hearing anything I disagree with, but again, I'm a little biased and also a little scared because goddesses are not only beautiful but powerful, and I live here.
And she is both.
Thank you. Yes, it sounds trite when I say it. Thank you, Taylor. Takes one to know one. Star Wars says someone posted Darth Maul. I can't read it. Species Dathomirian. We already discussed that. Thank you for the
He's a
confirmation,
Zabrak. They're
Michael.
wrong.
Yeah, Dathomirian Zabrak, right? Like, I am a Polish human. Yeah. Lauren is a beautiful goddess. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a wonderful time. We will see you next week. Same bad station, same bad content. Have a glorious weekend. This is the part of the show where I tell you to do stuff, but I don't feel like it this time. So I'm going to ask you to do things. Would you please give us a like on this video, especially if you hung out with us for any meaningful bit of time. It's been a great one. We really enjoyed having you here. Would you also subscribe so that way you can come back and hang out with us next time when we talk about more things that are distantly and tangentially related to Bad Batch? That was not redundant. I would also love for you to leave us a comment. Thank you. Have a glorious weekend.